Hello everyone. So I'm here to talk about a few things that are probably just a bit too lengthy to put in a post. So here they are. The Hunger Games. I'm going to answer my own opinions about the most common asked questions and a few other things. So first of all, is the world, how much does Panem cover? How's the outside world doing? And what do they know? So we know from the original trilogy that the typical Panemese person knows very, very little about the outside world. Right, but it's from Katniss, and Katniss admits that she doesn't pay attention even to whatever limited stuff they tell in school. That said, that's why I was looking forward to the point of view of their world from President Snow as a child, because President Snow at 18 was already supposed to be very intellectual, supposed to be much more attentive in school, also much more evil and much more prejudiced towards the district people, but yeah, way, way more attentive in school. So whatever he knew, that would be a very good indication of what the conventionally educated capital citizen, all but at most a select few, know. And this is where I was fascinated. Him and Lucy Gray. Lucy Gray was speaking about a place that must be outside Panem when they were in District 12, and in his inner monologue, Snow says, "The capital controls the known world." Now, that can mean a couple of things. One is that is the known world means the known habited areas? Are there, do they have any sense that there's uninhabited land, or at least they think it's only uninhabited outside their country, right? If there's even limited settlements that they're building the arenas to defend against, why aren't at least the school kids taught? Like today, North Korean kids are taught about America in a very, very, very biased way. Now, that said, the known world. It also seems to imply that not only has the knowledge of how big the world is shrank, but Panem's territory actually extends further than the modern day USA and probably to Mexico and Canada. And because it would be pretty hard for a society with like aircrafts to not know at least that the whole continent of North America is there. And Panem was always said to be North America, not America. So, with that in mind, Panem probably covers Mexico and Canada. In fact, that's actually confirmed. In The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the movie, we see Lucky Flickerman when he's speaking about the weather. District 10 is shown to be in modern day Mexico. That's the first thing. So the very well-educated capital citizen with Coriolanus Snow knows only about North America and is even taught that outside North America there's nothing. Now, whether he means that's like nothing that's inhabited, or like there's actually no land outside North America, I'm not sure. Or even if they're taught maybe the world is flat and there's not even a globe, not just no land, there's no water outside of the North American area either. I'm not sure. But then it doesn't make sense. First of all, in the original trilogy, Plutarch Heavensby was aware of ancient Rome. The name, in fact, Panem and Circenses, Panem, came from ancient Rome, bred in circuses, right? And ancient Rome was definitely away from North America. Then again, when I asked ChatGPT, and this makes the most sense as well, it said maybe they preserve information about ancient Rome. And yeah, logically speaking, ancient Rome would be well known. I don't know if it was known about accurately, but at least well known in the capital and District 2. Otherwise, why are all the District 2 careers named after Roman names, right? And why are some of the capital citizens also named after Roman names? Now, that said, ancient Rome must be well known. Did they actually know that ancient Rome was outside of North America? Or is their history, whatever they teach about ancient Rome, really inaccurate, as in they're taught ancient Rome was also within North America? Or are they taught that ancient Rome was far away from North America, but nobody lives there anymore? Is that what they're taught in school? Was the curriculum from Snow's time to later in the series actually changed so that, later capital citizens knew all about ancient Rome? Let me see. In Snow's time, do we see, for example, Well, the District 2 people are also named Sejanus, Sabine, Marcus. Those aren't Roman names, right? The capital people are named like Hilarius, Felix, Coriolanus. Those don't sound like Roman names either. I'm not that knowledgeable, so please correct me if this is wrong or anything. But is this evidence that during Snow's time, even ancient Rome wasn't taught about? Then again, the fact that there's this hidden knowledge, that means that whatever's, things that are not taught about in school are still somehow accessible. And this brings us to another point. Lucy Gray knew about William Wordsworth. In fact, most of the Covey songs come from William Wordsworth. Now, I do not know if, for example, Susan Collins herself simply overlooked it. How are people supposed to be unaware about North America but know about Wordsworth, who is English? But when I read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, my headcanon was that Lucy Gray and the Covey, they had, stumbled across old books in an abandoned town, since there's many abandoned towns in Panem, and old books containing Wordsworth poems, and then they simply adapted those poems to Southern ballad style lyrics. That's what makes the most sense. The Covey, as a group, we know they travel a lot, so they came across an abandoned city, an abandoned school, and in that there was like 300 or 400-year-old books that included Wordsworth poems. And how do you know extensively about the ballads, about Wordsworth, and still think that North America is somehow the only continent, or even the only inhabited continent, right? Even if the descriptive pages of those are somehow picked out, you see, if there's like an author's description in any of those textbooks they read about Wordsworth, you say, wait a minute, where's this England place, right? In other words, and even if they didn't have it, even if somehow those books had those pages missing, that's basically like Lucy Gray would have to be pretty stupid to not think that there was land outside or even inhabited land outside of North America. And yet somehow this was hidden from capital citizens, which doesn't make any sense, does it? Or maybe it makes sense somehow. So how does it seem, when did the naming trend, people talk about the naming trend after the Covey in District 12. What about the naming trends in District 2 and the capital, naming their people after ancient Rome? I do suspect some capital people also found some hidden knowledge. They went out into abandoned towns, abandoned old books in abandoned schools and just read about Rome and this and that, but they kept that knowledge hidden, right? What is hidden, what's not? Also, another intriguing question is, at what point did Snow become aware of District 13's survival? So, basically, how did Lucy Gray Baird know about Wordsworth, who was English? How did Plutarch know about ancient Rome and Panem and Circenses, when apparently even Snow, who was well educated at that time, thought that North America was the only inhabited continent at the very least? When exactly did the trend of naming many capital and District 2 citizens after Roman names actually start, like Brutus, Cato, etc.? When did that naming trend start? When exactly was this revival of Roman or pseudo-Roman culture introduced? And what else does this hidden knowledge have any effect on? Is the capital in fact sending out book burners to abandoned towns to burn any books that could, misalign with their narratives? Is this how the Covey learned their lyrics? Another thing, I'm going to address something that's said a lot. A lot of people have commented about religion in Panem. Here's the thing, these sorts of totalitarian oppressive governments, they will do their absolute level best to neutralize, to eliminate the memory of any sort of religion. Like even in North Korea, if you're found being Christian in North Korea, you are dead, your brothers and sisters are dead, your parents are dead, and your kids are dead, and at the very least. Right? So it's not a surprise that after centuries and centuries of like a North Korean-esque government, like almost all religion except in District 11 is suppressed. And this is why District 11 is rebellious. They're the only district, it seems, that still has, or the only district that we know of, that still has some semblance of religion. This would also explain the District 11 tribute's actions in the games we know of so far. It's another thing I'm looking forward to more of in Sunrise on the Reaping.